Greetings, Bloomfield Township. I'm Mike McCready, your Township Supervisor. October saw a new business open, more Metronet fiber installation activity, and Fire Safety Week. Let's take a look back at another eventful month in our community before we meet some of the members of the Bloomfield Township Fire Department. I was very happy to attend the ribbon cutting ceremony for the opening of the Ace Pickleball Club on Franklin Road, just north of Square Lake. This club is meeting the growing demand for indoor pickleball facilities as the sport continues to build its popularity. 12 courts are available for players from beginner to experienced. Visit their website for more information. Developed by Solu Enterprises, Adam Lutz and Matthew Sassons, follow-up to their Grand Rapids location is sure to excite many residents. Every October brings Fire Safety Week, and this year's national campaign highlighted precautions with lithium batteries. Education is a year-round effort in Bloomfield Township. The fire department with CPR classes, teaching our youth with hands-on exercises at the open house, and the Oakway Fire Ops 101 training, which I was fortunate enough to participate in last month. Oakway is a mutual aid collaboration with neighboring communities in Oakland County. I was able to fight fire with fire, training alongside both township firefighter, paramedics, and police officers, along with new HR Director Jennifer Herring. Join me as we experience firsthand how public safety responds to an active assailant, uses extrication tools like the jaws of life, and entering a structure fire. This training only deepened my already immense respect for the work our township firefighters and police officers do on a daily basis. Training is fundamental for their ability to do the job when emergencies arise. I want to thank Oakway for including me on this training exercise. You can learn more about our public safety departments on the latest Bloomfield in Focus, where I sat down with Fire Chief John Leroy and Police Chief James Gallagher. Let's take a moment now to visit our Central Fire Station and meet some of the staff. Hi, we're here with Mike Sova, Bloomfield Township EMS Coordinator. You've been at the township quite a few years?
Yeah, 16 years, 4 years as the EMS coordinator.
Congratulations. So when you started back in 16 years ago, would have been
09.
09,
Yeah.
Okay. Oh, that's when we were coming off the hard times.
Absolutely.
Yeah, were you just coming out of school, or what were you doing?
Yeah, I was just graduating from Lake Superior State University.
Oh, congrats.
Very lucky to get a job here, especially in 2009.
Are you from the area, or are we from the Lake State area?
From up north.
Oh, whereabouts?
Sheboygan.
Okay.
So
okay.
moved down here just for the job, actually.
It is you, okay. Yeah. And did you come here as a technician or a paramedic?
I came here as a firefighter, paramedic.
Firefighter, and then so you were you considered F1? You had your license for being an F1 is where you started?
Yep.
Great.
Yep. And then worked my way up since then.
Yeah, and so you've been coordinating the CPR programs here in the township, and I participated in one. I did the CPR and the blood. It was
Stop the Bleed.
Stop the Bleed. Yep. But are you doing both classes now, or just the CPR class?
Yeah, so we've been teaching CPR AED use for probably the last decade or two. And then most recently, the last 3 or 4 years, we've started to incorporate Stop the Bleeding. We've realized that, especially in today's culture, that unfortunate circumstances occur where people are bleeding out before first responders can arrive. So if we can train as many people as possible to stop that severe bleeding, we can save more lives.
Yeah, I thought the class was very interesting. I probably could go through it again and pick up even more, because when you're in an emergency situation, you have to count on that training, because everything is just flying by so fast. And so Absolutely. You've been running the classes, and do you do them once a week or once a month?
So initially we were doing them once a quarter.
Okay.
With your article this year, we've had a lot more demand.
Good.
This year we've trained all township staff.
Okay.
As well as, I believe we're on our 6th class with about 10 people involved in each class.
Yeah, and so you have another class this week?
We have another one tomorrow, actually, and then we're getting in the mode to schedule out 2026.
Great, and they're open to the public to come in and participate.
Absolutely, free to all residents.
No charge.
They last about 2 hours long.
2 hours, yeah.
And you learn CPR, AED, choking, what to do if someone's choking, then also stop the bleed.
So let's talk about that a little bit, because I remember doing the CPR with the chest pumps, and it's really interesting how hard you have to pump.
It is.
And you could crack the bone, but that's all part of the process to keep that person alive.
Absolutely. We'd rather have someone injured with potentially a cracked rib or two
Right.
and alive than someone afraid to act or do anything.
And then the other interesting one is the choking. That I remember. And tell us a little bit about how to stop or prevent the choking.
Yeah, so if they're able to cough, we just let them cough,
Right.
as your body can probably naturally get out whatever's blocking it. And American Heart Association actually just this month changed their recommendation to actually 5 back blows and then the Heimlich maneuver like we're used to. So our future classes will include this new technique.
Great. Well, thank you for your service to the township, and we appreciate it. And we'll look forward to seeing more of these CPR classes and our residents participating.
Yeah,
Thank you for being with us.
Thank you.
Today I'm joined with Alan and Maddie Van Heck, the father and daughter. You're the operations manager in the fire department?
Correct.
And Maddie, you're a firefighter paramedic too
Yep.
with Bloomfield Township.
Yes.
Well, congratulations.
Thank you.
Glad to be here with you. Al, tell us a little bit about your time in the township. How long have you been here, and some of what you do as the operations manager?
I've been here 30 years. I'll actually be finishing up my 30th year in December. So somebody told me that I'm the longest current employee in Bloomfield Township. I'm not sure if that's true or not, but I believe it is. I could have retired a year ago, but we have a lot of new people, and I decided to stay on and help train some people. We've got a lot of new firefighter paramedics, and hopefully I've got some experience, and I can try to pass some of that down before I leave.
Yeah, I remember doing that Oak Wave training, and you were there, and you were hands-on. I mean, you were showing everybody what to do. You kind of knew everything that was happening there, and you were sharing your experience. It was really quite something to watch.
That's been my thing for my full career, has been training.
When you you bring on the new firefighters or EMTs or paramedics, you're working with them as they get started in the township. And tell us a little bit about training them, some of the things that you work on with them.
So the current groups of people that we're hiring, current groups of firefighters, we get a drastic amount of experience or inexperience from them. We're actually hiring people in their 30s that maybe this is the career they've always wanted to do, but they never really started it. They've got a college degree. And then the other group we get is 19, 20-year-old kids that have never really experienced life. So the training part of it comes down to each individual. But when they come on board, they have about a month of just day in, day out training. And then after they get on shift, we start to integrate them into, the firefighting with everybody else and the EMS.
Because I don't think people really understand how much training that you all have to go through every day to keep up with the demand that's out there. And when these emergencies happen, and you put us in emergency situations at that Oakway training that you can't even comprehend. And until you get there, you have to rely on what it is you're directing us to do.
So as a firefighter, schooling only gets you so far. They can't train you at a school for every single incident we run into. Right. There's a lot of it you just need to figure it out and make it work. Yep. And there's nobody else to call. The fire department is who you call to take care of your issue. And we can't just say, I've never learned that, I can't do it. We have to figure it out.
Maddie, you're a firefighter paramedic too. Yep. I remember meeting you over at Fire Station 2. That's primarily where you're stationed.
Yep.
Although you'll move around a little bit depending on the need, right?
Yeah, I've been there for about 2 years now. I've been at the department overall for about 3.5 years now.
Well, congratulations and welcome. I'm glad, appreciate your service.
Thank you.
And tell us about being a firefighter paramedic, what it's like. I mean, tell us about your schedule and some of the responses that you've been on.
On a average day, we train on the weekdays. My dad gets us training houses all the time, and we will go and train for a couple hours every day. On the weekdays, this week we work Monday, Wednesday, Friday, so we'll probably be training Monday, Wednesday, Friday. And then during the weekends, we cook and hang out and just wait for calls to come in and have some amazing family time.
Right, and then the emergency comes.
And then
every emergency you go on is different.
Yep.
Nothing's the same. So your emotions are running, your adrenaline's running,
Yep.
and all you can focus on is really at hand and knowing the training that you've had to how to take care of the people that are in that emergency situation.
Yep. And it just comes with years of experience.
Right.
And when I first came in, I was like, oh my goodness, I don't know how I'm going to do this. And now I'm 3.5 years in and I am confident, and you just learn from
and you dig right in.
everyone, from the seniors, from everyone that.
Right.
teaches you.
And I know Dad here is getting ready to retire. He's been with us for 30 years. He's stuck around. He's been wonderful to the community. I think it's gonna. Who could replace him?
I know. I told him he needs to stay for another year.
Do you think he would?
No.
No. It's time. It's time to move
I think
on.
he's ready to retire.
Is that, yeah, well, we'll miss him.
Yeah.
Right? Yeah, but it's been nice that you've been able to work together for a couple of years,
Yes.
right? Well, thank you for your service to the township. Glad. And Alan, we're sorry to see you move on, but thank you for your service.
Got a little bit more time.
Yeah, we do, right? Yeah, good. I'm with Christian Bertucci, our fire inspector. Welcome, Christian.
Thank you.
You've been with the township since you said 2016, right?
Yes.
Normally a Farmington Hills resident
Yes,
at that time. You still live in the Farmington area?
I do.
Do you?
Yep,
Okay.
I still live in Farmington Hills.
Great. So you've been with us since 2016, and now you're considered what we refer to as a fire inspector.
That's correct.
Can you tell us a little bit about what your responsibilities are as a fire inspector?
Sure. Well, as a fire inspector, my primary job is to ensure that all of the public buildings, businesses, and schools in Bloomfield Township are safe for the people that use them. And in order to accomplish that, I perform annual fire and life safety inspections on them, review building plans, and I work with the business owners to ensure that they're meeting our fire code requirements.
Yeah, that's quite detailed work. And I know in the past we've had issues with lithium batteries, and we've been through Fire Safety Week. This year it's focused on lithium batteries. Can you tell us a little bit of the story about lithium batteries and some of the challenges that we're having there?
Absolutely. So we've definitely had an uptick in fires related to lithium-ion batteries.
Okay.
Not only here in Bloomfield Township, but
Everywhere.
across the nation.
Right.
Yes, because they're in everything. They're in your power tools, your laptops, your
Phones.
your phones,
Right.
your scooters, e-bikes. And the problem is if those are damaged or if they're overcharged, they pose a really high fire risk because they contain a lot of energy in a very small space.
And they run hot.
They
right?
run very hot.
So can you put out a lithium battery the same way you put out like a wood fire, or is it you have to use different materials or chemicals?
The tricky part with lithium-ion batteries is you need copious amounts of water. The problem is you can really only contain it because it goes into something called thermal runaway, where it's only going to burn out once
It's done with
expels
its energy
all of the
from
fuel
within.
and energy. Correct.
So you really can't, no matter how much water you use on it, you can't put out a lithium battery. You just have to wait for it to
you
expire.
have
on
to
its own.
contain it and ensure that all of the fuel is used up.
Wow. What can residents do to better protect themselves from the dangers of lithium batteries?
Well, the most important thing they can do is treat them with respect. Always use the charger that your battery came with. When you charge it, make sure you're not overcharging it or charging it overnight when it's left unattended. And when you do charge it, you want to make sure that you want it on a non-combustible surface. You don't want it charging on a couch or on a bed, somewhere that it can fall over. And if you notice that it's running really hot, or if it's leaking, or if the battery itself is swelling, you want to stop using it immediately and dispose of it properly. And you also want to make sure your smoke detectors are working.
So if you talk about a battery swelling, what do you look for? Is something in the compartment that looks like it's getting...
It's going to look very deformed. It's going to start expanding the case that it's in. It might have a funny smell to it. You might notice some smoke coming off. And if you're not sure of what's going on and it looks like it might be an immediate fire hazard, unplug it immediately and call 911.
Wow, that's a big challenge because there's so much of it out there now.
Absolutely. They're everywhere.
Your cell phones and computers, laptop computers, scooters, you said.
Scooters.
And would the main source of that problem be overcharging? Is that some of the main cause of lithium batteries?
That's usually overcharging, even just a normal fault in the battery. But again, if you're not careful with where you're placing it as you're charging it, if that falls on a hard surface, it very can easily damage it and cause a problem.
Gotcha. Christian, thank you for being with us this morning. We appreciate it. Thank you for your service to the township.
Thank you.
Thank you to Mike, Al, and Maddie, and Christian. We appreciate all you and the entire Bloomfield Township Fire Department do for our community. If you missed it, check out the October 27th Board of Trustee meeting, where the annual Fire Department awards were given to see more of the faces in our fire department. Before we end this episode, let's hear from Kelly Parker, City Relations Manager at Metronet, about what residents can expect when Metronet is working in their neighborhood and the timeline for service to be available.
So for Metronet's communication process, we take a 3-tiered approach to making residents aware of upcoming construction. Approximately 30 to 45 days prior to the start of construction in any given neighborhood, Metronet will initiate its first point of contact with a resident, which is a letter. Now, to be aware, that letter does come marked in a plain white envelope, but that information inside of that envelope, a lot of good detail on what you can expect during the construction process. It gives you a lot of good information on frequently asked questions and information about what a easement or right-of-way is. So that will be the first point of contact for residents. Shortly thereafter, approximately around 2 to 3 weeks prior to construction starting, we like to do an additional touch point, and that is generally our postcard reminder that you will receive in the mail. And again, not as much information as the letter, but it does give you all the details that you need as far as upcoming construction in your area. And again, also just gives you some contact information if you do have additional questions or concern. Our third point of contact is going to be right around the time that we're going to start coming into that neighborhood and starting our construction. And we like to place yard darts. They're not very big yard darts. They're very similar to if you've ever had your yard treated, you notice those little small yard darts that they place out there. Again, that information is just to let you know, hey, we're here. We're going to be doing some work in your area for a few days. And again, it does give you information, QR codes there that you can scan and be able to contact Metronet with any concerns or constructions you have. When we're getting started with construction, when our crews arrive in your neighborhood, you're going to notice that they're preparing the area carefully, and that starts by locating the existing utilities. We want to be very much aware of any water, gas, or sewer lines that might be running through your property, obviously so that we can avoid any type of disruption there. So this process is generally, what we call potholing. And that is just to help Metronet to ensure that we know exactly where we can safely place our equipment and begin the drilling. Now, once that occurs, next you're going to see a technique that we call directional boring. And with that, in those boring machines in your neighborhood, you're going to start seeing some drilling taking place underground that's going to create a pathway for our fiber. And now once that path is drilled, we attach a plastic pipe to the bore. And that is going to help us pull that fiber back through that hole, through that conduit. And this pipe is going to house and protect the fiber cables there. Now, after that is completed, along the way, you're going to see us install small underground structures, and they are going to be monikered with the Metronet branding there. And these are going to act as access points for Metronet so that we can pull the fiber through the pipe and we can connect it for future customers. Now, once we've placed that fiber, once the pipe is underground, structures are in place, you are then going to start seeing that fiber get fed through the pipe. They're going to splice that fiber at the key locations, and they're going to connect that back to a cabinet that is at a different location. And that is going to power the overall system. It's going to send us the light through the network so that we can see that we have connectivity there. And that is actually what helps us provide that ultra-fast fiber connection that is going to be available to your neighborhood. After we have completed our construction, fiber has been pulled through that conduit, and we see connectivity back to our network. Generally, you can expect to see service become available within a week or up to at least 10 business days from the time the construction has been completed.
Thank you, Kelly, and thank you for watching this month's Supervisor Summary. As we approach the Thanksgiving holiday, our community has much to be grateful for. We'll see you in December.